So shtickle hemshit for last week. Last week we spoke about mosquitoes, bees, and different harmful animals on Shabbos. If you're allowed to trap them, or if you're allowed to kill them on Shabbos. So if it's a life endangering animal, so it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. If this chance is going to hurt someone, you have to kill it, even if it's not chasing anyone. You're allowed to kill it to make sure no one gets hurt in the future. And if it's not an animal that kills, so then it makes a chiluk if it's damaged. So if it's not a dangerous animal, so then you can't kill it. But the shayla is, could you trap it? So it depends how harmful it is. If it's mazik haguf, if it does damage to your body, the example Al Rebbe gives is a snake or a scorpion, which is not poisonous, for sure not poisonous. So then you can't kill it, but you could trap it. You could trap it on Shabbos. And other animals which stay there, it's painful, but it doesn't damage your body, like Al Rebbe says, wasps and flies and other different biting insects. You're not allowed to trap them on Shabbos unless they're biting you. If they're biting you, or about to bite you, then you can trap them on Shabbos. And so a lot of people ask, what about last week? What about trapping them in a box with a hole in it? The box has a small hole, so it'll take a minute before the bee gets out, and if you can take it outside. So is that okay? So there's a sif about on a Shulchan Aruch about if you have a beehive and you want to put something covering over it so it shouldn't get damaged by the rain. Is that okay? Or is it considered trapping? So Al Rebbe says as long as you leave a little hole and you're not intending to trap the bees, then it's okay. This is in the first Maramach, and Al Rebbe says, "Mutter lifeis machsels halgabi kaveres shel dveidim, bechama mitnei achama, and the sun, in order that they shouldn't get damaged by the sun, and b'ksham mitnei aksham, in the winter period for the rain. Well, actually, skafin lotzud hadveidim, as long as you don't have in mind, as long as you're not intending to trap the bees. Also, it should be in a way that it's not mukhrach, that it's not a secret that the bees are going to get trapped. And could go in Shinishai Kaberes Chor Shein Mekusa B'Marcelas is a small hole which is not covered. The Esher Lahem Lot says Derech Shom. And it's possible. Yes. And it's possible for them to take it's possible to escape. And even if it's a very small hole from the side, that the bees can't see them. So even though it's a very small hole, it could be the bees aren't going to notice them, they will get trapped. It's okay. Why is it okay? Since he's not miskaven. Since he's not miskaven to trap the bee, it's okay. The income secret, and it's not a psikration since it's possible for the bee to slip out. And it's not mukhrach that they're not going to get out. Also the psikration. But if you're covering with this net and there's no hole for the bees to come out, it's also the psikration that the bees are going to get trapped. So based on this, the shayla, you could take like a box with a small hole in it that it's possible for the bee to get out and to trap in that box and take it outside. So the Alter Rebbe says, even though it's mutter since you get out, but it's only if it's in miskaven. If you're not miskaven, if you take our miskaven to trap the bee and you want to take it outside, well, it seems like it will be an isser. But the Mishnah Berurah over here adds on. He says that it depends how big the hole is. He says, when does Shulchan Aruch say that? It means that if you're not miskaven, if you're miskaven to trap it, it's also that's if it's a small hole, which could be the bee is going to notice it. Could be the bee won't see it and he won't get out. But if the hole is big enough that the bee will for sure see it and eventually get out, even though it might take a minute, but it's for sure going to get out. It's a large enough hole. So even if you're miskaven to trap it, it's okay because you're talking not trapping it. This is number 2 in the second round of Akim. From the Mishnah Berurah. There's a few parts. Split it. What's that? That's the new ticket that came out. What's it called? don't remember what it's called. Yeah, but no, this is from the Mishnah Berurah. It says, "V'nearly the hakavana b'mash kasav hashulchan aruch v'gam hu be'inyan chulun," that you're not escaping to trap the beam. Hainu sheyesham b'kaveres chuluk katan, that there's when it's a small hole, kamish kasav tesis hu v'seisa v'chi haigavna leishadi ki im Rabbi Shimon. In such a case, it's only mutter to Rabbi Shimon that it's davar shein miskaven. There's a chance that it will get trapped. The davke b'shein miskaven. But if it's a big hole, if there's a big hole in this beehive that was left open, even if you intend to trap the bee, it's mutter. Because it's not going to trap. Because the hole is large enough that the bees for sure going to get out, so even miskaven is okay.
So the boss over here is not he was miskaven to trap it, but what is miskaven to get rid of it, and he knows he has enough time to get rid of it. Through this, even though, because the time the bee finds out what's going on over here, we'll have it out.
Yeah, the bird is taka not trapped. It's for sure not going to get trapped. If there's a stuffing, it might get trapped because it's a very small hole.
He has a mind to get rid of it. Even though he has a mind to get rid of it, but it's not going to be trapped.
Yeah, even if he had a mind to trap it, it still would be mutter because it's not trapped.
What difference does it make what kavanah he has if he's not doing it?
Right, it's the same.
Double question.
Yeah, that's right. Because it can never happen what he wants.
Yeah. So that's when the gas. So that's the easiest to do if you have a bee, to try to have a box with a little bit of a hole, to have it trapped in the box, and then take it in. So going weiter. So what about setting up these glue traps, sticky traps on Shabbos? So which won't kill the bee, but it won't kill the bugs, but it'll get stuck to it. So it's okay to set up traps on Shabbos to catch animals or bugs. So the halach is you're not allowed to set up a trap. So the shaila is it a trap for the hektim? But first of all, there's the chayiv mishum seida for trapping animals. It's the only chayiv for an animal which is yesh b'minei seida, meaning that it's a derech to trap these animals. So that's what I'm saying deer. I think the animals, which is the derech for people to catch. So then you're chayiv. But if it's something which is not normal to catch, right? So catching flies, catching mosquitoes is not normal for people to trap flies and mosquitoes. So there's no isser. So the shaila is the isser for setting traps for animals only for an animal which you're going to be chayiv mid'oraisa or not. So this.
So why can you be my
No. The difference between a trap is you're not catching the animal yet. It's only going to be caught later. Marcellus, that's you're putting it on top of the hive. So you were trapping the animal. You're not setting up a trap. Okay, the core meaning is setting up a trap.
No, it's not decided by your
fine. So machlik is whether to say that, but it's still awesome with Rabbanan. So no, the thing with setting up a trap, you didn't actually trap it yet, but it's going to get trapped later. So it's more of like a grama.
Yeah.
So why is it also? So Tesis in the third Maramakim in Shabbos Lati Zayin on Bay says why is it also to set a trap? So ein person mitzudis, you're not allowed to set up traps. Why? Afagav the Shabbos nami in Pirish mitzuda ein chayiv chatas sheinedei in yatzud in lab. It's true that even though if you set up a trap on Shabbos itself, you're not going to be chayiv, right? Because you don't know if the animal is going to get caught. It's not a psikration, so you're not chayiv. Mikamakim God's reliefesh mitzuda. Why did they say it's also? The palmim asili deichil chatas. Because sometimes you could end up doing it while you're setting up the trap. How? That if the animal gets trapped at the moment you're setting up the trap on Shabbos, then you'll be chayiv. So therefore, they say you're not allowed to set up traps on Shabbos because you might come to do Issa Deraisa. The Hachi Ketani B'Teisefta HaPeris Mesud V'Hema Eloiv V'Nichnas L'Seicha Chayiv. If you set up a trap and while you're setting up an animal into your chayiv. So this is the reason why you're not allowed to set up a trap, even though the animal's only going to might get caught later, because you might end up doing it Issa Deraisa. So there's some achrinim want to be medayik from here. What about a trap which is only meant for animals or insects which is not possible to be chayiv, like a fly trap, setting up a sticky trap on Shabbos. So it's not shaykh to come to Issa Deraisa on such a thing. Even if the fly flew into the sticky trap while you were setting it up, there's no Issa Deraisa. Or a mouse trap, putting out a mouse trap on Shabbos. So there's no Issa. Mouse and mice are not the mini mitzvah. It's not, people don't trap them for any use. So maybe setting up a mouse trap is not chashash.
And why over here just
Because the shaykh to come to Isa Deraisa. This is why you're not allowed to set up a trap on Shabbos, because the shaykh to come to Isa
you
Deraisa.
set up the hanger, the fly thing.
Yeah.
Very shack that the fly way that the flies
But it's not shaykh, but you're not high. There's no Isa Deraisa for trapping a fly, because it's in the meaning mitzvah. It's not the derech to trap flies.
This is not for a bee. This is not for a bee.
Yeah, this is for regular animals. Regular animals. So some achreinim, there's some chuvas is chuva from because the chuvas are Teres Moshe Lemberger. He wants to say that it's okay to set these fly traps. But on the other hand, the Alter Rebbe in the Magen Avram, he's made up an Alter Rebbe. Magen Avram seems that it's not osir. He's not heter. And the Alter Rebbe says in the parentheses I put over there, he says you're not allowed to set up a trap on Shabbos to trap mice rats. So you see clear from the Alter Rebbe, even though it's not the derech to trap these things, there's no use for it, you're still not allowed to trap them on Shabbos. So some of you want to be mad.
This is a Tosfos, and this is what?
Alter Rebbe.
From where? Which
This is Mishinta Zayin. So yeah, some of you want to be making with setting it up, but from Alter Rebbe, Pasha, so Alter Rebbe, Magen Avram, it's also. So the next shayla comes up is what I guess having pets or animals in your house. And saying shayla, the shayla comes up and saying if someone has pets, the pets like to run outside. If you want to catch it, bring it back in. And or if a bird or some squirrel runs into your house, so yeah, you want it's okay to close the door. It's like considered trapping. So. Now, in the fourth Maramakim, he's mastered there's different levels of tzeidah. There's different that there's the chiv deraisa of tzeidah is only when the animal's completely trapped, meaning that it's basically in your hands. You just need to grab it. It's there. You don't have to run after it anymore. That's the issa deraisa. What if it's trapped in a house, but you still need to run after it to catch it? So then that's only midrabanan. That's tzeidah midrabanan. So this is number 4. The Alter Rebbe says in Shinta Zayin. The trapped animal doesn't need, you don't need to trap it again. You trapped it at a place where you could easily catch it. You don't have to say bring a trap and we'll catch it. You don't need to do any tricks to catch it. It's right there. You just need to grab it. That's the device. What? Yeah, the type of where they close it in. As long as the house or this closing area where you're trapping it isn't big enough, it's big enough that you're not able to catch and grab the animal or the bird in one leap. Because it runs away, you just need to run after it again. So you trapped in such an area, so that's not the melach of Seder Midraisa, and you're still potter. And nevertheless, it's still usher. So anyone who traps in the place, it's still mechusar Seder. It's even though you're not chayiv, but it's still usher. Afal pishu potter, it's also midivei soifin. And if you have such an animal in your house, as a bird or something or a squirrel runs in the house and you grab it because you want to take it outside, that's a sort of seder.
And so the end of the Sif saying that even though you have to trap it again, it's still awesome.
It's still awesome. Yeah. And if you would catch it again, if you would make it be fully caught, then you would be chayav. Because until now wasn't Seder Midraisa.
Right.
So the shayla is having people have to So I'm not sure exactly what the reason is, but having pets for some reason never was a very Yiddish thing, but for some people have pets. So what's the din with if an animal, a cat or a dog goes outside? Can you bring it back into the house? or people have some animals they go to sleep, put them in a cage when they go to sleep, so they shouldn't. They put them in the cage when they go to sleep, so it's okay to put inside the cage. It's not considered trapping. So the Alter Rebbe says there's three types of animals. They're fully domesticated animals. Let's say like cows, horses, or fully domesticated dogs or cats, which so those don't run away, and they're always tame. So those are considered as if they're always trapped. If you took it just even if it's out on the Shusarad and you take it into your house, you put it in a cage, it's not considered Seidan. It's mutar l'chatchila. It's mutar l'chatchila. This is number 5. The Alter Rebbe says, "B'chol b'chayev ha'oif." Chayev ha'oif, wild animals that usually run away, you have some issues. Aval behemoths hagdilim b'shusay, but behemoths which live in your property, even from a public from Mishus Rabin. And this is that they didn't rebel, that they're not trying to run away permanently. But if they did rebel and they're trying to run away, even if it was a cow, this is if they try to run away to the point they're never going to come back. It's not just they ran outside because they saw a squirrel or something. Since they won't come back at nighttime, they're trying to run away to the point that they won't even come back at nighttime, so then it's just the nice one. But
it's just a place where you want to put them for the night time. You want them to go run around whatever.
Yeah, but a cat or a dog or something which will always come back even though it tries to run outside. So now you're allowed to grab it, you're allowed to catch it and bring it back inside. So what about other animals? So let's say like parakeets, other things which usually aren't, so don't like to be touched and try to run away from people. So I'll tell you this.
You're right, the birds. Birds, some people they let the birds out and they come back.
They come back, but they won't let you grab them.
But you can see them in the cage.
Depends on the kind of a bird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah?
So.
What do you mean by that? That they'll come back or they'll leave them out?
No, different types of birds, they get very attached to the owners and they come back. And others, they get the opportunity, they're gone. You never see them.
So so that type of bird would be would be real issue. So both of these, these ones Alter Rebbe says is an issue. This is in the 6th Maramokim. Shin Design Sitchav Dalin. Alter Rebbe says Chayev ha'oif hagdilim b'shusay shel adam, and wild animals or birds which live in your property. Kagoyim mishum megadol tzevaim beveisay, maybe chatzira yavozim v'tarnagelim, different chickens and birds, v'yenim and doves. Hatzodem Shabbos Potter, shahari nitzudin va'imdim hein. Because as if they're already trapped, since they always come back at nighttime, they always, even though they run around, but they're always there. But if someone traps these birds which live in the nest, I'm not sure how they would have it back then. These types of animals, you're chayav, shem chusarin seidahim. They're considered mechusar seida. Why? Shekesh adam ba litlan mikinein hinasuyin lehishamid v'livrech mikinein. Since they run away when you try to touch them or grab them, therefore it's not considered trap. Masha'ekin hagdilim bebayis, whereas the ones that grow up that live in your house, kishehein shekishein bayin lekluvan be'erev noyach l'teifson. It's very easy to catch them and they don't run away. B'tnei she'az ein nasuyin lehishamid v'livrech, because then they don't run away. Therefore, even when they're outside of their cage, it's not considered mechusar seida if you catch it. Since at nighttime it's going to come back, and you'll be able to take it. Since in the evening they're going to come back on their own. So these ones, even though it's potter, but it's still usher because they usually run away from people. Even though they live in your house, and these ones aren't running away, since they usually run away, it's okay. So but the regular the ones that will be mutter is you have the dogs, cats usually which never run away and they're always there. That will be okay to put them in a cage. Let's say I know someone has a pet rabbit, so that will usually run away. That'll be an issue to trap it.
I know pet rabbits. I've seen people have their pet rabbits outside. And they come back on their own. It depends on how much you train them.
So it's still the Isser D'Rabbanan.
You have it.
That one was still the Isser D'Rabbanan to trap it. And the next, but if you have, let's say, like a dog or a cat which hasn't been trained yet, and if you open it and you run and it's going to run away and not come back, so that would be also to trap it. And also the shayla comes in that when you're going in and out of your house, when you open up the door and then you close it again, it's not trapping it. So the Isha on the butcher chair says that if you open up the door in a way that it couldn't go out, meaning you're standing in the way, so then it's not then. So then there's no issue. You can close it afterwards. If you open it up to the point that it can run out afterwards, and you walked away, and now it's wide open for them, and it's going to run out, and you close it, that will be an issue. This is number 7. The Eshavram Butchacher, he says, if the bird doesn't want to run outside, and it's in its place, even though the door is open, it's not running away. Like the Magen Avram says. Even if they want to run outside, but just you open the door in the way that you're standing there and it couldn't go out, then it's not possible for the birds to go out. So then it's okay to open the door completely, to lock the door, because it was never able to run out. The Makar, this din is from the famous din of the Gemara that if there was a deer in the house, a deer was in a house, and one person sat in the doorway. Now the deer was trapped, and then another person came and sat there. So it's more protected. So the second person didn't do it. First person is staying. The second person who came there is putter because it was already trapped. And what if the first person walks away and the second guy is the only one who's holding it trapped? It's still okay because when he sat there, it was fine. When he sat there, there was no issue. So to over here, when you came and opened the door, it was still trapped because you were standing in the way. You closed the door behind you. It's still fine because it's already trapped because you're in the way. You just added another. You just made it more secure. And once you walked away, it's fine. The second door, the door can remain closed. And so this is also, I guess, also with if you have a bird cage, you want to feed the bird. So you're opening up the door, so it's able, and then you're closing it. It's not considered locking it in, trapping it. So according to this, if you're standing there in a way that the bird can't come out because you're in the way, so then there's no problem to opening and closing it.
Birds, and it can come back on its own.
Even if it's a bird that does come back on its own, it's still also to trap them. Unless it's only fully domesticated animals which don't usually run away from you, is mutar l'chatchila to trap them. Yeah, birds, even though it's domesticated, but they usually run away. Now that would be an issue. This is, before we get into the long one, let's jump to 11. There's an interesting question. Is it Isser Tzeidah by trapping a person? if you lock up a person on Shabbos, you run the Melech of Tzeidah. So the Chayden asked this question. One of them is a Makar.
Shame, get a short.
So if you catch a person on Shabbos, is it Isser Tzeidah? So the Makar Chayim, he's Mesufik. He says Chayden Sarachin is Shaykh Tzeidah for a person. Number 11, he says, Sarachli Ion, Haratz Acher Chavele Teisi to catch him, Litza mi Lechatchila, Lachedesh Lechatchila Biaser. You shouldn't say that.
Okay, all the kids' games have
I don't. That's not how say those things, playing tag. Afkinam, but see, some Psukim says. Yes, locking kid in time out. Yes, a shayla. So that's a shayla they bring up. The shayla seda for Adam. But the next number 8, the interesting discussion over there is this like a lamdisha discussion. If an animal runs into your house and you can't get it out, a squirrel or something, and you want to close the door, it's cold outside, and you want to close the door, or you're worried you don't want the door to stay open, so are you allowed to close the door on Shabbos? Everything should be lax. When you close it, you're trapping the animal in your house, but you don't want to. So what's the din? So there's a famous Rash where everyone talks about. He says that you're allowed if a deer comes into your house and you want to close the door in order to protect your house, it's mutter even if you're miskaven to trap the animal. So it's not lahalacha. The shayla is what's pshat. So this is in Eith Maramakim. The Beiseis brings down the Rashba. He says the cost of Aran b'shem Rashba. The B'Yerushalmi nida sheyatiru lino b'tchila beisei lishmer beisei b'tzvisha b'seichei. You're allowed to lock the door to your house even though there's a deer inside your house and it's going to get trapped. Why? The kiven shut tzarich lishmer beisei. Since you need to guard your house, afal pisha ayidei kein kach nitzid hatzvim and mela. Even though the deer is also going to get trapped when you close the door, it's mutter. As long as you're not only having in mind to trap the deer. So this is a very teledika thing. Usually, the halacha is psikre, even though you're not miskaven, it's a psikre you're chayiv, and you can't do it. Rashba says that even though it's a psikre and you're also miskaven to trap the deer, you want the deer to be trapped. Since you're miskaven also to protect your house, it's okay. So the Ran doesn't get this. The Ran says, "V'tama olav haran." Just because he wants to lock his door, we're going to let him do malachas. We're going to let him put in nails and build the door. Even if he doesn't have a mind to trap the deer, even as long as he knows the deer is there, it's also. And he knows that it's for sure going to get trapped. It's also the Meidir Abishim B'Sikreish V'Yamos. Like even the Issa D'Raisa. So what's going on with the Rashba?
This is only if the door was open the whole time and now he wants to close it.
Yeah.
Not if the door was closed and it was there and he opened the door to go out. He said before that it's mutter.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it wasn't open enough for the deer to get out.
The rest means don't keep your door open. Close the door. Don't let
Yeah. And the gam harav amaki kasfek yudever ashva kasfek in the hakal kolkach. So he says he can't be bagel so much to lock the door even though you're miskaven. The shaila is what's pshat in the Rashba. So the shilti gebeda on the shilti pshuti. He says when do we say psikreisha is aser? So when you're not miskaven for davar mutter. If you're not miskaven for davar mutter, then there's an issue. But if you're miskaven for davar mutter, even though you're miskaven also for davar aser, then it's okay. Extreme chudishtika shit of the Rashba. He says in number 9, he says a divya Rashba in Shinul Medium.
Both come together.
Both since
the Isser and the Heter come together.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the Heter overruled.
Even though you're also miskaven for Isser, that's the pella of the shit of the Rashba. It's not halacha. The shayla
Because it's the same action that
Yeah. This is number 9. He says, "Divya Rashba nemsin lemedin the afagav the kaimam psikresha aser hadu dafka shabaisei maisa the isa psikresha inu skaven vein davar heter imen." This is dafka when the mutter thing you're doing. There's nothing mutter with it. You're only doing a davar aser. You're doing also something which is mutter. V'skaven gam dvar heter. And you're miskaven to it. Also, I feel of psikreisha mechaven gam leishari. Even though you do a psikreisha davar aser and you're miskaven also with this, it's mutter. So this is a pillar that everyone's bothered with the shit of the Rashba. How can we say such a thing? How can we say such a wild thing? So a lot of the Achrayim want to say a vert. I brought them here from Shimon Shkop. He says that this is a specific vert when it comes to trapping animals. It doesn't apply to everywhere else. What's the vert? Why is trapping animals different? It's because trapping animals, if you do it, is closing a door a malacha on Shabbos. Closing a door is not a malacha. Lighting a fire is a malacha. Doing other types of things is a malacha. That's be'etzem a
It's not a mamash trap. It's his house.
Even if it was a trap, I'm not allowed to close the door to a trap. It's not allowed to close the door to a cage. I'm allowed to. The issue is only if there's an animal inside of it. But as opposed to other malachos, lighting a fire, building something, beira, it's be'etzem a. So he says, therefore, dafka by tzeda, which be'etzem it's a dvar mutter. So if you're miskaven for a heter, if you're kavona, if you're miskaven for something which is mutter, that's why we're going to be making. Since be'etzem, trapping animals, closing a door at a cage is not a malacha, and you're miskaven and your ikr kavonas for the head for something which is mutter, that's why the Rashba is making in such a case. This is in number 10. He says, He said, I don't have time to try to do Lamed Schus on the Shilta Gevei number 9. He says, such a pelodic thing that he allowed to do a psikresha. He was having also over heter. He says, La'aniya daiti dire niren. He says, he thinks, what's pshat in the Rashba? The Rashba and the Chalik beim Melochat Seidel Sham Melochis. There's a difference between trapping and other Melochis. The Melechas Chayreish, when it comes to plowing, if you're pulling a bench and it's a psikresha, you're going to make a hole, it's also the Hamalocha Yimashanasa Charis Bekarka. The Melocha is the actual hole in the ground. The Chay Benetilas Neshama Kain. It's a psikresha, you're going to kill an animal, so killing an animal, that is the Melocha itself. The Chok Hai Gavna. Aval Betseda, in a Melocha Mashat Tzvi Nishmar. The Melocha is not this, that the animal was trapped. The Hari Loi also Shum Shinei Bahat Tzvi. You didn't make any change in the actual deer. The deer is the same. Elo Hamaisa Sha'isa Shianitzi Zehu HaMelocha Seda. Just the action that you did, it caused it to get trapped. Therefore, when you close the door for a different purpose, so too then, closing the door is not considered trapping. And this time it was automatically trapped. It's not Seder. That's pshat in the Rashba. Yeah.
You didn't do the trapping.
See, even though this is pshat in the Rashba, this is the Rashba that we don't pass him like. But when is the use of the Chai Adam says the Beis Yosef does, the Shulchan Aruch fix.
We don't.
Shulchan Aruch fix. So, but the Chai Adam says that he could be makel. For example, he gives a case if an animal comes in, the bird comes into your house and you can't get it out, and you want to close the door because it's cold. He says then if you don't have kavanah to trap the bird in your house, and because he says first of all it's only midrabanan. It's only say that midrabanan because it can still run away. It can still run around in your house. It's not easy to catch. He says only midrabanan, and you're not intending to trap it. You just want to close the door so the cold or other people shouldn't get into your house. So he says then, therefore it's only midrabanan, and it's a psikresha le'nichalei. It's a psikresha you're not happy about. You could be makel.
Especially you don't want it in the house. You prefer it when you get out.
Yeah, that's all right. Le'nichalei.
Yeah.
The truth is that the Kedusha Shkaf is saying, he's saying any case Binyan says cap the Shkaf, I'm going to be a but he is. The bottom line, he is agreeing with him.
That's two different pirushim. Shilta Geberim understood that. The Rashba says, even if you're Shilta Geberim said this applies to any malacha.
Oh, that's we don't know that. That's what he's learning.
That's the Shilta Geberim learns the Rashba. Shilta Geberim learns the Rashba that any malacha you do is mutter even though you're miskam for the Isser.
Any
Yeah. Yeah. When do we say that even if you're miskam?
we don't know that because the Rashba is not talking about any malacha. He's talking about Seder.
Right. The Shilta Geberim understands it applies to all malacha. Rishon Shkov, he says that it's not converted in the Seder. Yeah. So that's the discussion.
Good. Yeah. Bottom line is stay away from the animals.
Put screens on your windows.